Hello from Este Yanks. So it is 3:23 a.m. and I'm not sure whether to say good evening or good morning, which is why I just went with hello. But for some reason, and this happens to me all the time when I'm just focused on the writing and just in the creative flow, all week I've been staying up to 4 a.m. and then I wake up at 10 a.m. the next day, the next morning, and I feel great. The first thing I thought I would talk about is related to travel. Now, a lot of people when they travel, they talk about their motivation for travel being to get to know the culture and to get to know the people of where they're traveling. But coming here to Spain this time, that was not my motivation at all. I was hoping just to hide out, be isolated, and just basically be a hermit and just finish this novel. So today I went to the cafe where I've been going almost every day. And what I do normally is I work here in the morning and then I go to the cafe in the afternoon for an hour or two just to get out of the house, get a caffeine boost. And because I've been going almost every day, I've started to build up a rapport with the woman who owns it and the woman who works there. And they're both really nice people, have lots of nice exchanges. Today it was very cold, so there's all this hail off and on all day, so we've talked about that and talked about some other things. I got down to work, and after a while I looked up, and there was a woman out on the terrace outside. And I was pretty sure that I recognized her, but not entirely sure. But when she came in and I overheard her name, I realized this is the woman who owns the house where I'm staying. So I introduced myself, and she sat down with me, and we ended up having a great conversation. Well, as we were talking, the woman who actually organized my stay here in this house came in because the two of them were actually meeting. So the three of us then chatted for a little while, and then they went off to have their conversation, and I got back to writing. But the point to all of this is, within less than an hour in this cafe today, I had already had interactions, and really enjoyable interactions with very nice people, with with 4 different people in less than an hour. When I've come halfway, if not whatever way, halfway around the world to be by myself. So then I work for a little while longer. It's around lunchtime. There's a big rush, and then everybody leaves, and eventually it's time for me to leave as well. Well, the only people left are 2 people, and one is the woman who owns this house, but her husband has now arrived, who I've met. So they very kindly invite me to sit down and have another coffee with them. We talked for at least an hour, maybe more, just great people, and it was great to talk to them and get to know them a little bit. So now we're up to 5 people. In my 3 hours in the cafe, more than half the time, again, in this cafe, in this village where I've come to be by myself, I've just socialized with 5 people over the course of 3 hours. I just thought it was pretty ironic. And it's great. It really is, as we started, or as I started, by describing just that idea of when you travel, you want to get to know the culture and the people. And even though that wasn't my purpose in coming here, it has really been enriching. Feel so well received and meet so many nice, welcoming, fun, interesting people. So the other thing I thought I would talk about is related to the writing. I've been working on the book or books for 10 years. The 10 years hasn't been just about writing the book. The 10 years has really been just as much, if not more, about learning how to write the book. And I mean that in every sense, from start to finish, from conceptualizing a story to developing the characters, all the way to the marketing and the social media. And of course, during these 10 years, I worked for well over half of those years I was working. So it's not as if I've only been working on the book for 10 years, but still 10 years is a long time any way you look at it. Contextualizing it in those terms sort of helped me to take a little bit of the, not pressure off, but just to make me feel a little bit better about how long it's taken and why is it taken this long, and helping me to cut myself a little bit of slack with regards to all of that. So the other thing that I was thinking about, the other sort of realization that I had related to the writing recently, is there have been a lot of moments where I've wondered, did I go about this the wrong way? There are all these different things I could have done along the way to facilitate my interest in and my pursuit of writing. Did I make a mistake? Have I taken wrong turns? Is that also part of the reason it's taken me so long to finish this book? I just have to trust, and I think we all have to trust in whatever the sort of the endeavor is, whether it's personal, professional, creative, that as long as we're going with our gut, following our hearts, being honest with ourselves, taking the risks that we need to take, that we're being guided to take, and just following that path, that we just have to trust that it is our path. Even though there are a million ways I can imagine it happening more quickly or more easily or whatever it is, when I look back on this path and all that I've learned over the course of it and all of the risks that I've taken, the adventures I've had, the things that I've learned, it's really hard to be too critical and really hard to go back and say that I should have done it differently. That being said, I am ready to be done. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening, for liking, for forwarding, for sharing, for all that stuff. And until next time.